Good morning. I'm Lindsay Bridges from Charlotte Center for Mindfulness, and I'm glad to be practicing with you this morning. Came across a quote this week from Virginia Satir. Life is not the way it's supposed to be, it's the way it is. The way you cope with it is what makes the difference. So, one powerful practice we have for coping with the difficult when life's not the way we think it should be, but rather it's the way it is the practice of loving kindness. And so, I want to share just a couple of teachings from Kris Cullen and Kristina Feldman. They are two mindfulness teachers I've been appreciating much recently, and both are looking around how to invoke in a wise way the quality of kindness in our practice. The first from Kris Cullen, he starts with a quote from one of the ancients. To meditate without kindness is simply to inflict hardship on yourself. Wish I had heard that quote early in my practice, because I can't tell you how often my practice was about what it should look like instead of learning how to open to kindness, and probably inflicted much hardship on myself during those years. But he goes on and he says, we could say to live without kindness is really to inflict hardship on ourselves and others. So, this is one of the blessings of mindfulness, as Kristina Feldman points out, that we have this choice, that mindfulness opens up this choice of how to incline our attention, how to incline our minds. We get to choose, she says, where we incline our hearts, where we incline our attention, where we wish to make our home. The encouragement in this teaching is that there is a genuine possibility that the home of our minds, the home of our hearts, can be established in unshakable friendliness and kindness. So we learn to do this through our practice. The formal meditation gives us this beautiful training ground to open up right with how life is in this moment, not how we think it should look, not how we think it should be, not to try to force ourselves into something that's not here, but rather to open up exactly how it is with kindness. So let's practice together. I invite you to start with finding whatever posture best supports your body. Often finding these days that just a little bit of movement helps with the settling. So if a couple of nice arm stretches, maybe one more. This is useful for you. Let yourself feel into this stretch. Maybe a little bit of shoulder rolls. Balancing the head and neck. Whatever feels good for you. Coming back into settling. Feeling into how those few gentle stretches may have shifted something energetically in the body, enlivened something in the body, movement of energy, whatever's here for you. For loving kindness practice, grounding in the body is the friend of this practice. Really learning to take your time to settle into the body, find the breath, find the support of the chair, sense the support of the earth and the ground below. It's reaching out for connection that the earth does in every moment of our life. Gravity touching all parts of our body. This possibility of enjoying a deep in breath and releasing, letting go, sinking into that felt connection with the earth and gravity. So taking a moment to allow the mind to begin to find breath and body as a resting place, a safe haven. If the mind is really scattered and still distracted and jumping all over the place, let the body be an aid in that. Nothing to make wrong in that, just an aid to settle here. The more attuned we come with the body in this practice, the more we start to notice it might be challenging emotionally, body sensation, anxiety, distractedness, whatever might be challenging in the moment. It's typically not everywhere in the body. My toes right now have a sense of an alive tingling. And I've practiced enough to know that when I have that grip of tension or distraction, this is a place I can drop into and find some refuge. Feet connecting to the floor, the ground below. Breath moving in and out. Take your time with this settling. The mind is really distracted and bouncing. What is it like to begin to explore dropping below any storyline of that? Finding the body sensation. What does energy feel like in the body when the mind is distracted? Is there a tightness, a clenching that goes along with it? What happens when you invite the breath into any tightness? Opening breath, body, clear intention, inclining the mind towards goodwill, empathy, and letting go. And wherever your mind is right now, either settled in breath and body, or still maybe caught up in some distraction, what is it like to purposely invite an intention of kindness to meeting this moment just as it is? Sometimes when we practice with loving kindness, we can actually evoke a felt sensation of warmth and kind of have that feeling tone, goodwill. Sometimes it's not as accessible. That's not as important as just the intention to meeting this moment with kindness. Noticing that directing the inclination of mind and heart towards kindness, right in of itself, is an act of goodwill, is an act of kindness. no matter the feeling tone in the body at the moment. That willingness to direct in this direction is an act of kindness. If there is some being in your life that just makes you smile, some spiritual figure that touches you in a way that opens to the felt tone of kindness, can explore inviting purposefully that felt sensation. Maybe it's the animal that just barked in the other room that makes you smile. But again, we don't force anything. We open up to a willingness to explore in this direction and then meet whatever's here just as it is. For many people, offering phrases of loving kindness can be very helpful for directing the mind in this towards this inclination of goodwill again and again. So if that's useful for you, find some phrase that helps. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I care for myself with joy and ease. So notice there are these choices in how to practice. Maybe it's in that grounding in breath and body as refuge, as an act of goodwill. Maybe it's bringing to mind some being that naturally brings up the feeling, the felt tone, the felt sensation, the warmth of goodwill. Maybe it's a simple phrase. Maybe it's some combination. Really explore for yourself what's useful. In directing goodwill, empathy, letting go. It's an act of self-care to this body, mind, and heart. You. And then turning it outward towards this world in such need. Sometimes that can be overwhelming to touch. So you bite-size it. Whatever degree feels accessible or available. Directing goodwill, empathy, kindness, care. Maybe it's right with the breath, breathing in, breathing out. It's an act of sending care to the whole of the world. Maybe it's some simple phrase. May all beings everywhere know happiness, know safety, know how to care for ourselves and each other with compassion and understanding. May we all know how to care for ourselves with joy and ease. May we all learn how to care for each other with joy and ease as well. Lovely practicing with you. A couple of reminders. The podcast is now up and active if you ever prefer to listen by downloaded audio as opposed to the YouTube. Also, a new introduction to mindfulness class is going to start Wednesday, June 17th. I'd love to have anyone join that's useful for them. The sign up is on the website at the moment. Um, and just to say, all of these offerings are freely offered. And if you would like to help financially sustain this work, we would appreciate any help you might offer. You can go to the website and donate there. Knowing as well that just your participation is an act of mindfulness, helping us share this mission of care in our world. Before we close, I just want to say good morning to Micah and Alan and Paul. May we all have a great weekend. Thank you, Paul, for that good wish. So, on that note, sending you all with good wishes for your weekend, for your day, for this moment now, unfolding just as it is, and meeting it with care and kindness. Thank you. Bye.